right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody's day is off to a great start. And we're ready to dive in. So as always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper for notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. All right. So as we know, we got some news happening this morning that we want to make sure that we're prepared for. We'll take a look at the chart, see where things are. Quick look at the fundamentals to see kind of what some of the conversation is after the Fed held rates yesterday, and we'll go from there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop over to trading economics. We'll see what's happening with the fundamentals. Real quick, just having some interesting audio issues this morning. If you could drop me one in the chat, let me know that you can hear me okay. Perfect. All right, perfect. All right, so obviously Fed held the rates, right? Left the target unchanged. At 5.25 as expected, but signaled rates may go to 5.6% by year end if the economy and inflation do not slow more. It's the first pause in the tightening campaign, followed 10 consecutive hikes that lifted borrowing costs by 500 basis points, the highest level since September 2007. All right. So we'll see what happens. Inflation has started to slow, but hasn't slowed much. So they want it to slow more. Policymakers said that holding rates steady allows them to assess additional information and its implications for monetary policy, but noted that they would be prepared to adjust if risks emerge that could impede the attainment of their goals, which is at 2%. And is now seen going to 5.6 compared to the previous projection in March, which was 5.1, right? And they also upwardly revised future rates 2024 at 4.6 from 4.3 and 2025 at 3.4 from 3.1, right? So they're seeing holding those rates higher for longer as well, right? So all of that we want to keep in mind as the conversations kind of start to continue today or start to pick up today. All right. ECB, European Central Bank, is expected to deliver another interest rate hike of 25 basis points on Thursday, bringing borrowing costs to its highest level since 2008 financial crisis, and to confirm an acceleration in the pace of quantitative tightening. Investors will closely monitor the guidance provided by officials regarding the future interest rate increases, particularly considering the current inflation rate of 6.1% and the core rate of 5.3%, which significantly surpasses the ECB's target of 2%. Furthermore, President Christine Lagarde, her press conference, will be closely analyzed for any hints regarding a potential peak in interest rates, with markets anticipating a single additional quarter point hike to occur in July. ECB has already raised rates by an unprecedented 375 basis points over the past year, representing the fastest tightening pace in the bank's history. All right. So expectation is ECB continues to press forward. Right. So we'll see how that transpires later on in the day. Australian jobless rate unexpectedly edges down. So could see more coming out of Australia in the future as well. Okay. So that's where we sit from a fundamental perspective so far. Over to the calendar. Okay. Over to the calendar. Right. And here is a series of events today. So a rate statement from the euro at 8:15, 8:30 You got core retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing, retail sales, unemployment claims, and Philly Fed manufacturing for the United States, right? So you got a nice little run there. And then the press conference at 8:45. So tons of volatility potentially between 8:15 and 8:45, pushing us in a direction. And then tonight we got monetary policy coming out of the Bank of Japan. Okay. So that's where we are for the day. And then looking at the VIXI, right? Super low, 14s, right? So risk on environment, right? Risk on environment. Aussie pushing to the upside, commodity currencies pushing to the upside. So that's where we sit, coming down to the DXY. Now, any questions fundamentally before we dive into some charts? No. All right. DXY. All right. So we're tracking this move to the upside on this right tip of this crown. Right. Right tip there. Nice deep pullback. We're tracking these smaller waves to the upside here. And we turned over at that daily resistance level. Boom, pressing down. We took out the A in that fib to the upside. Now these are those sub fibs coming down. Okay. Was pressing down, didn't get to the D extension on that fib, and we got a little bit of a retracement. So we'll see if the dollar continues to make this move back to the upside, or if we turn down and continue pressing back down in this range to the daily support level. Okay. So that's what we'll track today and see how things move. Okay. So that's the DXY. Let's pop through the euros just to see where they moved overnight, and then we'll make some moves from there. So that euro Aussie still hovering at this 382, right? Daily support here. Beautiful move to the downside. Now we want to see what happens. Do we get a reversal and a push back to the upside, right? Or do we break this level and continue pressing lower? Okay, so stalling right now, coming to the 4. There you go, sitting at a B boundary. Boom. Okay, sitting at a B boundary. So we'll see if we get that. Excuse me, sorry. We'll see if we get that push to the downside or if we turn up. Okay. On your 1, similar deal, range in there at the B boundary level. Okay. Bouncing off this daily support, and we'll see how high we push. Okay. That is the euro Aussie, the euro CAD. This one is interesting. So daily, right? We got down to the support level, broke it and turned back over. Didn't get to that weekly support level. So this level now shifts here. Like so, right? And we're trying to press back to the upside. Trying to press back to the upside here, right? So it's been a beautiful swing so far. Finally getting a bit of a retracement here, and we'll see if the conversation today pushes it further up, right? So here on the 4-hour, we had that beautiful 80-20 scenario. Just missed that D extension, right? And now we're pressing higher. Now we're pressing higher. TP1 is 290 pips. I'm sorry. TP2 is 290 pips to the upside. From where we are right now, that TP1 is another 129. Okay. So expecting this to continue moving north off that support level, and then we'll see what happens at 146,476. Okay. So that's the 4-hour 80-20 coming down to your 1. See that swing just a little more closely here. You also had an 80-20 on your 1 hour. All right. Oops, there we go. You also had an 80-20 there. Boom. Okay. So that TP1 level is a 786 retracement on the 1 hour. Okay. So moving to the upside, if we want, we can track those sub fibs Watch those pullbacks as they come in. Right, beautiful pullback here, and then we had liftoff. So that's where we sit there on the Euro CAD. That one's in motion. Is anybody in this move to the upside? No. Okay. Cool deal. Cool deal. All right. All right. So sweet. So that's the Euro CAD. Any questions on this one or the on that Euro Aussie? All right.
No.
Cool deal. Euro Swissy. That's what it look like on the daily. Came down into this daily support, right? Overall, bearish, right? But we could be ready to push to the upside here. Came down to this weekly and daily support. Strong bullish move. Took back some of that move. Now we'll see if we get price to swing and push to the upside here. Okay, coming down to your 4. This is that swing. All right, here's the swing here. So we'll see how deep we push here, right? Bullish on the euro, so we could ultimately break this daily level. If we do not, be looking for price to turn over and start breaking some of these lower levels. So we'll have to watch that to see what transpires here. Okay, we also got trend line coming off the highs, right? So continued move to the upside could put us in a position where we meet that daily resistance and that trend line. And then we could see that turnover and price to the downside. Okay, so we'll watch that closely to see how things transpire with the ECB. Okay, sitting just shy of a 618 retracement right now. Coming down to the 1. And there we go. There we go. Right. So we already got a deep retracement and we're pulling back again. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see where it transpires, right? But we'll sit and watch. Not a ton to try to pick apart here. So we'll be patient with on the ECB. Okay. That's the Euro Swiss. Over to our favorite pair, the Euro GBP. And we're still sitting at this level. Still sitting at this level. All right. Came down to this weekly support. And we're just hovering a bit. Let's see if we get a nice push off this and push to the upside here. Right. Nice deep retracement off the daily 786 zone. All right. See if we can start making higher highs and higher lows and moving that way. Coming down to our 4. See the double bottom action here. Boom. But we got to break back above that level on these lower time frames, right? Higher time frames, we're just hovering at the level, but we want to see a break above the level and a retest to give us a bit of confirmation that we're a go. All right. So that's the look there. Double bottom there on the 4. Coming down to our 1. You got an 80-20 here. Boom. Right. So I got the cloud on there as well. Right. And a break above the cloud would also be break above that weekly level. Right. So that's additional confirmation there that we're on the move to the upside. So looking for this push here. Right. And then see a pullback in that level hold again for that ride long. Okay. So whoops. Zoom that out. Man, there we go. Here we go. Boom. 84 pips on the stop loss. TP1, you got 99. I'm sorry. TP1, you got 83. TP2, you got 120. All right. So that's what we're looking at, the potential there. Just off that 1 hour, 1 hour and 4 hour fib, but we could continue higher if the euro, if they do increase those rates as expected. Okay. So that's what we're looking at here. 80-20 on the euro GBP, looking for that move. All right. Questions here? I know we don't like it, but it moves, man. It moves. It just takes its sweet old time. Takes its sweet old time. So we'll see, right? Off the higher time frames, we could be in for a larger move if this is a reversal double bottom scenario here at that 786 retracement level, right? So could be in for more upside here potentially, right? Matching extension is 977 pips to the upside. So we'll watch it and see if we get that flip. Okay. All right. Cool deal. Now let's keep moving. Euro yen. Running long. So weekly time frame. Oops. 50% retracement. Definitely headed to the D extension at 156.513. Right? It's on the run. Strong bullish move there. Okay. Broke that weekly level. Here on the daily. Thought we might get a retracement, but no. 618 retracement. 158. So let's mark this zone out here, right? Weekly, we got 156. Here we go. Let's bring it over. There we go. We'll take this down to the lower time frame so we can track it. No, we'll do it like that. We'll take that out. Let's do here. We'll change this to blue. There. All right. That's our weekly D extension there. We'll bring that down. Daily. Here's our daily D extension. Boom. I'm going to bring all this down to the lower time frames, and we can take a look to see what that zone is and how that might look on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Right. So there we go. Okay. So that's the zone that we're looking at on a higher time frame. Coming down to the 4. Zoom all the way out here. Okay. Look at that. Weekly and daily D extension puts us in a 118, 127 zone on this 4 hour fib. So we'll see what happens up here, right? We'll see what happens up here to see if we get a reversal. I want to see one other thing. Nope, no resistance level there. Interesting zone, but nope, no resistance level there. So let's look on the daily. Maybe. Nope. No resistance level there on the daily either. Okay, so that's our zone, right? So we'll watch that on the lower time frames to see on this 4 hour. We get a reset on the weekly, reset on the daily. Could also get an 80-20 on the 4, right? And that could put us in a situation where then maybe we get a bit of a retracement, right? Even if it just comes back and retests that weekly resistance level that is breaking through our support, right? We get something like that out of that zone. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's the zone I'm going to keep my eyes on as we continue to move through. And see what happens and see what transpires up here. Okay. Boom. So that's the 4 on this euro yen. We'll watch it and see what happens. Coming down to our 1, it's just overextended, man. It's gone. Gone. So we could potentially see a pullback in the short term and get a fresh AB boundary, but we're just going to continue to watch this thing fly. Okay. You're going to continue to watch it fly. So maybe we get something like that and then take off. Okay, so wait on that swing out of form there for that retracement. So what I'd be looking for here on this 1 hour is when this new fib forms, one of two things. One of two things here. If that's our high, boom, 618 retracement level comes in line with that weekly support. So if that's our fib, would definitely love to see that break and retest here. Right. And that'll give us an opportunity to get long. Right. So we'll watch this closely. We'll watch this closely and see what transpires. Hold on one second, everybody. Benny, good morning, bro.
My bad. I was on mute. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Good morning, everybody.
Awesome. Just getting prepped for this rate statement coming up in a bit. Going through the euros. This euro yen is an interesting situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we could get an 80-20 if we push into the zone with a D extension on the weekly and the daily. So be interesting.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what they say going forward since we're hearing the recession word coming out of the Eurozone. So we know they're expected to raise rates 25 basis points, right?
Yep.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see what Lagarde says, see what her tone is going to be like. That's what I'm looking forward to. So 25 basis points, okay, but what's next? What's next?
Yeah. And the expectation is at least one more in July, based on the report. So we shall see.
Yep, we definitely will. That retail data coming out of the U.S. today too will be pretty important considering what Powell had to say about the dollar yesterday. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely some opportunity coming.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yeah, good deal, man. So if this is our fib, right, we'd love to see a retest of this level and then see if we get that bounce. And that'll give us an opportunity to get long and push into this zone. Right. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. Into that zone, 550-ish pips. Right. So if we get this pullback here to that 618 level, that's what I'm going to be looking for. An opportunity to get long on this euro yen and push into that 118, 127 zone on the 4. All right, so we'll watch closely and see what transpires here. Any questions on that euro yen?
No.
All right. Sweet. And euro NZD. It's a mover yesterday, and it's moving today. So daily, this is where we are. We already got that 382. We talked about this pullback. Pulled back into that zone we're looking at, right? And now it's trying to potentially push out and get long. Okay. Come down to the 4. Actually need to close this out. Come down to the 4. I'm gonna close this real quick, everybody. Boop, boop, boop. Boom. All right. Beautiful move to the downside here. We came into the zone that we talked about yesterday. Right? 618 retracement on that 4. Boom. And we're getting that push. Okay. So we could be off to the races now, looking for that move to the upside. Okay. So we'll watch that closely to see. Matching the extension is here at 180. Okay. 530 pips to the upside there. So we'll watch that and see after that rate statement, right? And the press conference, see if we get a boost there. Okay. So that's the Euro NZD on the 4. Coming down to the 1. There was the bounce. Okay. There was the bounce. Hit the D extension, got the reversal. This black line is that zone that we're looking at on the 4. Okay. Push up. So we'll see what happens, right? If she keeps that hawkish tone, right? Let's see this continue to drive. Okay. If for whatever reason she changes that, right? You could see it pull back, right? And then potentially continue to drive, understanding the situation out of the Eurozone. Okay. So that's where we are on the Euro NZD, looking for this to potentially push to the upside. Higher time frame, we got some things happening, but we want to see what transpires with this rate statement first, right? If she changes her tone, we could see this turnover. Okay, so we'll see, but that's where we are, kind of in the middle a bit. All right, questions on this Euro NZD?
No.
Cool. Euro dollar. Pushing long. Pushing long. To the 4. All right. Break, retest, trying to continue. So that conversation will be important. We'll see what happens at 8:30, 8:45. So here on the 1, that 80-20 swing, right? We finally took out the A. So now we flip those fibs and run them to the upside. Bang. Just wicked the 382 here, and we're pushing to the D extension. Okay. So bullish on these euros. And we'll see what transpires. See if we get some continued bullishness later on. Okay. That's where we sit on the euro dollar. Questions? Thoughts, comments, concerns? No. All right. Cool deal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've watched the video a couple of times on the 80-20, and I realize it's important, but I'm missing totally grasping how it works. I know it's a really basic question.
Yeah, no. So let's go back. Let's find a clean example. This Euro Aussie. Boom. So we talk about retracements, right? Well, actually, we'll draw it out first. All right. So with the 80-20, right? We know we get an AB boundary, right? That's the first piece, right? Swing high, swing low. Okay. And
yes,
our retracement levels are like energy trampolines. Okay. So that's our AB, our AB boundary here. Okay. Once that swing high forms, we get that AB boundary, right?
yes.
Retracement levels are like energy trampolines, right? So the deeper the retracement, right? Further the extension. Okay. Now, when you don't get a deep retracement, okay, when you get a shallow retracement is considered anything less than a 38.2 retracement, right? So anything in this range here, okay, that tells you that momentum is strong for that currency, right? And you'll see price continue to rise. And so what we've seen over time is that when you get this shallow retracement and price breaks the B boundary and pushes into this 118, 127 zone, we see a deeper retracement occur, right? So 2 pieces to it. You need a shallow retracement, anything less than a 38.2. And we want to see price break the B boundary and push into the 118, 127 zone. Now, not an exact science in this 118, 127 zone. Price could push higher, but as long as it doesn't get to the D extension, right, we see price turn over and give us a deep retracement. Okay, so shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone without hitting the D extension. We look for price to give us a deeper retracement. Those are the steps. That's what you look for.
Thank you. I really needed that.
You're welcome. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Great. But that's it, right? That's it. And so then once price does push here, right, and Benny talked about it a bit last night, and you hear us talk about additional confirmations, then you add in, okay, so now do I have a trend line break, right? You have your trend lines running to the upside. Do I get a trend line break? Boom. Right? And the trend line break, if that's what you use for your additional confirmation, right, that's your entry opportunity, right? Or if you use the cloud, do you have a cloud break, right? So that's when you got shallow retracement, price pushing to the 118, 127 zone, price broke your trend line, price broke your cloud, then you take your entry. And the way we teach it is we say place your stop outside that D extension, right, to give the market room to breathe. Because again, like I stated, we know that as long as price doesn't hit that D extension, we're looking for price to turn over, right? So place your stop outside the D extension, and then we look at take profit 1 at that 382. And your take profit 2 level at your 61.8 retracement level, right? And then as price moves in your favor, then you're able to adjust your stop and move it in a profit as price continues to move in your favor, making its way to the TP levels, right? And then we play it from there. So real-time example. This Euro Aussie. Okay. AB boundary here, right? Price attempted to pull back, only came to a 236 retracement, right? Yes, Carolyn. Shallow retracement is anything less than a 382. So retracement 236 level, right? Price broke your B boundary and pushed higher. You see, it didn't just stop at that 118, 127 zone. It did go further, found resistance, but it didn't get to the D extension. And then you see here, price then started making its way down. Take profit 1 level is 382. Right? So just like we drew it up. AB boundary. Oops. AB boundary. Shallow retracement. Price pushes into the 118, 127 zone. Gives us a deeper retracement. Boom. All right. And so looking at your trend line, draw your trend lines like so. Okay. Getting as close to the highest point as possible without cutting off any wicks. Boom. On the daily, that was your trend line break. And then you end up getting a pullback. There's your entry to the downside. Entry there. Stop outside the D. And so now looking at it from a risk to reward perspective, right? Risk 315 pips. That take profit 1, 740 pips. Right? So greater than a 2-to-1.
Fantastic.
All right. Make sense?
Yes, that I needed that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. So now as we continue to move down, right, and we come back, here it was on the 4-hour. Okay. Same thing. AB boundary. Retracement. You see price did not get to that 382 level. Held up at this daily support. Right? So less than a 382. Push to the upside. Did not hit the D extension. Got close this time, but didn't get there. And then you got your reversal. 382. All right. Draw your trend lines. All right. Goal of the trend line, get as close to the highest point as possible without cutting off any wicks or bodies. Boom. All right. So here on your 4-hour, you would have got potentially a little bit of a tighter entry. Boom. Here's your trend line break. There's your pullback. Your entry could have been there or there. Stop outside the D extension. All right. Stop outside the D extension. Okay. Price moves in your favor. Boom. Okay. There you have it. All right. Take this on. Here's your move to the downside. Okay. Come down to your 1. And what you can do too, and Benny and I do this once a year, is we go all the way back. We'll clear out the charts and we'll go all the way back and we'll map the fibs out, right, from the beginning of the year. And we'll walk through each scenario, right, to see, did the 80-20 scenario play out? How many times? What's the percentage? Because sometimes you will get, right, for instance, here, strength in the euro, right? Price is just running. You got your AB boundary. There are times where this occurs, where you got a shallow retracement, right? But price just continued running to the D extension. Okay. That's why we call it the 80-20 scenario, right? We've done the math on it. We've done the back testing. And the math comes out to around 78.6% of the time you get that retracement, but there is 24-ish% where price does continue to run to the D extension. Right? So there is that possibility, which is why we talk about risk management, right? And Benny says, do the math before you get into the trade so that you know what you have at risk and you know that you're not going to blow your account, right? So there are times where that does happen, and that's okay. That's part of trading. You're not going to win them all, right? But we see this happen time and time and time again. Okay. Here you are again. AB boundary, shallow retracement, push into your 118, 127 zone, deeper retracement. This time, this move down took out your A, right? And then in this scenario, we would have flipped our fib and ran to the downside. And you see, all right, take that out for this example. Boom. AB boundary. Shallow retracement. Price pushed into this 118, 127 zone. Stayed here for a while. Right? Stayed here for a while. Tried to push that 382 here. Didn't quite get there. Came back down to this daily support level, but did it hit the D extension?
No.
No. Right? Didn't hit the D extension. And then what did we see? Take off. Deeper retracement. Took out the A. Continue riding. So another, what this does, and how you hear Benny break it down, is it puts us in a position where we're at exhaustion points, right? We're at exhaustion points in the market. These shallow retracements and pushes into this 118, 127 zone, that's an extreme level, right? Price is overextended. You'll hear us use that term too, right? That's what this does. It puts you in that position of exhaustion. And the market at least has to have a retracement of some sort most times, right? And then that's what you get. Okay. Talk to me. Making sense?
Thank you. Yes, it does. Thank you. I really appreciate the thorough explanation. I needed that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Carolyn, making sense? Okay. Don't hesitate to ask those questions. That's why we do these sessions, right? That's why we have the Discord community, right? So anytime you're going through the training, that's why we set up the structure this way, right? We set up the structure this way. So we have the live sessions, we have the community aspect, and you have the training. So as you're going through the training, right, we know you will have questions, right? We know you will have questions, not if, but when. So when you have questions, you have resources, right? You can reach out to the community. If Benny and I don't answer the question, we got people that have been with us for almost 2 years, right? Actually, some people have been with us for 2 years, right? If we don't answer it, they can chime in and answer it too, right? Or come into the sessions just like you did today. Hey, I got a question, right? It doesn't matter how quote unquote basic the question is. That doesn't matter at all, right? Because somebody else is going to have that question too. That's why we say don't compare your journey to anybody else's, because nobody's going through what you're going through, right? Nobody's been through what you've been through as far as your personal life goes, but we're all going through this journey of trading together, and it's a constant evolution, right? Every time I look at these charts, I see something new. And that's the beautiful thing about it. There's always opportunity to grow, always opportunity to learn, always opportunity to understand something from a different perspective, right? So it's extremely, extremely important that we ask the questions that we have. Don't feel bad about asking them, right? Because most times somebody else is going to have that same question. So we make this environment one that's safe and encouraging and empowering, so that you can ask those, so that you can take that one step forward in your journey, learn that one new thing, right? So appreciate you asking that, Marshall. Appreciate you asking that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other questions on that?
No.
Joe, you do it wonderfully. You do it wonderfully. All right. Cool deal. You guys got any pairs that you got your eyes on you want me to take a look at in the last 15 minutes? Nope.
I was trying to think of something for you. But I ain't look at the charts yesterday. But I want to go back and look at that GA.
Yeah. That's in an interesting position. So here we go.
It still ain't going nowhere.
It's still stalling, man.
It's at the like my homeboy, huh?
Right now it is. Right now it definitely is. Stalling at this 236 level, man. That retail sales data will be interesting. How the rest of the week goes will be interesting. I think next week.
But what's now? Remind me again. What's supporting Great Britain against the Aussie?
The Aussie is the commodity currency there. Generally, the pound moves somewhat with the stock market in most cases. Yeah. So next week we got monetary policy for the pound.
Okay.
Next Thursday, right? We got meeting minutes for the Aussie on Monday, right? So we'll see what happens.
Can't wait.
Yeah. There's gonna be some patience to see, right? But depending on how some of that goes, we could see this break and push down deeper, right? So we'll see coming down to the 4 on this one. Okay. Coming down to the 4, we pushed down to a 50% retracement, right? Broke that cloud, pushed down. Crazy move down. But there we are. Okay, so right now we're bullish on the pound also. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
And that's where I was still stuck at. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get unstuck out of that position.
Out of this one here.
The one that you just deleted. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching it, right? I'll show you guys on the 1 hour, but strong push to the downside, and we're hovering at this level, right? Do we break it to the downside? Do we stay above it? Who knows? But my bias overall is ultimately bullish on the pound. So coming down to the 1, this was a crazy move, right? So here on the 1, we're at a deep retracement level. So on the 4, we got a 50% retracement. Here on the 1, we ended up pushing down to a 786 retracement off of this down, right? So now do we get this shift? And I was looking at this originally where this entry came as the break of the cloud and the pullback and retest. So we're still hovering here. So I'm watching it closely. I got a small position in long and see if we can get some movement back to the upside. My original position, I got stopped out of profit on one position and took a small loss on the other. But right, so we'll see if we get back long on this push back up. Maybe we don't complete this cycle here, right? But maybe we get potential crown pattern out of this if we get a push to the upside. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires with these two currencies. But we're at a deep retracement level right now, and we'll see if we get price to turn over and break out of this bit of a range that it's in right now. We'll see what happens. But just pressing sideways right now.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes.
This is Brandy. Hey, maybe tonight or maybe if I'm not sure who's going to be on, you or Benny, but can we have like a quick little refresher, like what you just mentioned about the Great British Pound moving with the stock market and Aussie being a commodity pair, a commodity backed by commodities. So just to have like a quick refresher, is that possible?
Yeah. Benny, can you take that as a note, bro? Benny's the guru when it comes to understanding the primary drivers of each economy.
Okay.
Sure. We could talk about it.
Appreciate it, bro. All right.
Thank you.
You are welcome. You're welcome. But yeah, so that's where we sit there. All right. So we'll see where what the catalyst is and what direction we get pushed. But deeper tracing right now on the 1, kind of in the middle on the 4, and still pretty high on the daily. So we'll see where we move.
The challenge with Australia is China that May data for industrial output came in, right? So the industrial output and the retail sales missed expectation. When you dig deeper, they're looking at more stimulus coming out of China. Yep, out of China. I mean, you got they've got the property issues, and then the investment in regards to the property sector it's continued to decline. So, it's just the data overall just shows more evidence of a slowdown economically in China. So we know that's Australia's largest trade partner. So it'll be interesting going forward.
Yeah, I missed that. That makes sense then. That makes sense.
Because I'm trying to make sure I keep my focus on the higher time frames. But like on the 15-minute right now, it just broke the cloud. And I got like about 55 indicators because my ADD work like that. But I'm seeing the 50 cross over to 200, and it's like, and then the stochastics in the buy area. So it's like, it's looking real, real, real bullish. But then at the same time, it got bearish tendencies.
Yeah. So here's what I challenge you on, Joy. Right? What do your rules say?
Leave it alone, because it's in consolidation. I promise you on this one, I ain't talking about the other ones, but on this one, with my GP, my Great Britain's, I am very cautious on because I have learned my lesson. It made me go outside and get a switch and everything. I don't know. I don't know what my infatuation about this GA is right now. It's like I really see potential on it going to the other side and doing like that, finishing that crown pattern. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm leaving alone. I'm being good.
Yeah. Hey, it's always there. But that fallback is what do the rules say, right? When we feel those emotions coming out and we want to we want it to go in our direction and we're starting to get anxious about it, pull out your rules, lay them out in front of you, and walk through them step by step.
All right, I'm over here Tyrone Biggins, so now let me settle down.
Look, Benny and I had these conversations daily. I have them with myself daily. That's when Benny talks about the psychological struggle. That's what it is, right? That's what it is. Are you able to manage those emotions as you're going through this process? And most people can't do it. Most people can. Right?
I thought Forex was gonna tame my crazy down, though, Ryan. I thought it was gonna tame me.
You thought what?
I thought it was gonna tame my crazy down.
What, trading?
Yeah.
Nah, it'll make you more insane. The journey is a great one, man. It's a great one. You really understand those battles. You really understand those internal battles a lot more, right? And you can see as you step away from the charts, you see those internal battles happen in every aspect of life. And for me, on this journey, it's helped me look at the world completely differently. It completely changed my perspective, right? Understanding that everybody is in a different situation. Everybody is in a completely different experience, right? And we're all going through this internal battle of what to do next. What next steps should we take? And at the same time, we're fighting with all of those old things that everybody told us that ultimately shaped who we are today. And they told us based on their best information and their experience. But then that brings me to the point of their experience still is not my experience. So now adding to that battle is, man, what I'm seeing isn't what they saw or what they said they saw. What I'm seeing is something completely different. And as you continue to expand that level of awareness of self and level of awareness of the environment in the world, you get exposed to so much more that then brings into question more things that you were taught when you were a kid, right? Because now that RAS, that reticular activation system, is aware of more things. It's bringing more things into your attention that you blocked out before because you had tunnel vision on what you were taught. And so now you're able to really start to shift your perspective of the world and of people and of experience. And you're able to take another step. And you're able to take another step. And next thing you know, you look back like, man, I don't even understand how that was me. Because you're a completely different person. But that's the process of life. That's the process of growth. That's the process of evolution. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's an absolute beautiful thing. Yeah, man. These charts are a reflection of self. They're a reflection of self. So I appreciate y'all, man. Benny, you got anything before we wrap it up today, man?
No, sir. Great session, man. Great questions. Great participation. Look forward to seeing everybody tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Asian session.
Yes, sir. All right, good people. Find that 1% today. Take that step. Have a good day. Peace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.